gentlemen, the Uncutt Podcast.
By Corey Holland, and then I had it all in the palm of my hand, but now I got a body in the back of my head. I couldn't wait 3 more rounds, but I can say there's many things that said it all.
God, it's every week you do it. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, Matt, he has to do the second part now because AC Mac told him it was a good idea.
Or should I tell you guys my big news first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Pat McAfee's looking at me.
Nope, no, he's not, Robbie.
What do you mean?
Well,
It's on my TikTok. That one I did.
He saw your TikTok.
The one I did.
You
better run, you better do what you can. Don't want to see no blood, don't be a macho man.
Okay, that's all I can do. That's literally all I can do. Matt, do you have any news you want to share?
I mean,
or should I just play the video and then we'll deal with it?
I don't feel like much happened today. Did anything happen today?
Well, I mean, this happened.
And D-Butt, excited to see who joins us tomorrow. And we've got a lot of people reach out to us about booking that have zero booking experience, but will give a lot of effort. And I appreciate that. I'm not sure that's how the booking game goes, but we will look into every single person that has reached out because we do
every
need,
single one of them.
Just because you get 50 of your internet friends to tag all of us in every fucking tweet and say, hire this fucking guy. Guess what? That's not going to work.
Now, Tone, speaking
You
for
most
Tone,
likely got muted and blocked.
It would help to have a fan, though. It would help if someone is a fan of the show because they kind of know the kind of guest.
I would like to let Panda know who Tone is talking to.
Definitely who I'm talking
He is
about.
being Tone is speaking for Tone. He does not speak for everybody else. Definitely looking into Panda because the passion in that video to become a booker for us is what we need, I think.
That's right.
I think we need that type of passion, actually. But he's not the only one. There's a lot of people that are trying to get in there, and it is an honor. So I think everybody is due, at least a look into everybody. I've gotten 4 scroll emails that have been forwarded to me from other people that have gotten emails on why people think they'd be a good booker. Everybody knows I haven't read a book before, but some of these really long emails make it a compelling case to hire all of them.
Probably some short emails too, though, right?
What's
like
that?
Some simple, concise, easy to read ones as well.
Yeah, those ones do get read at a much more rapid rate than the long ones. But this is something we are actively seeking, we are looking into, and we appreciate everybody's potential want to do that job. With that being said, it's not just a fun job, I don't think. Like, that job stinks.
Yeah.
That job is not a fun job. Like, I don't think a lot of people fully understand, like, how bad that job stinks. Like, it is not a fun thing to do, to just fire off bum, 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 bum. And then like, yeah, we'd like to do it. Yeah, we'd like to do it. No, we don't want to do it. Yeah, we would like to do it. We can't do it till this day. And then mixing it all in and matching. It's not fun. It's not an easy job is what we're saying. So we have to be pretty diligent on who we hire to do it. I think we know the traits of the person that could probably be well at it. That's why I think all these really long emails, need to be thoroughly read through.
That's right. Have you done it before? Do you have contacts in the industry?
We do have a leader.
Et cetera.
Et cetera.
Et cetera.
Are you good at networking at public events, like a concert maybe?
And how,
Oh,
what is your presentation like on the internet? Are you an asshole? Because that doesn't necessarily help us. Even though we are a bunch of assholes, we can't have our person that is representing us with these suits, which is who you have to talk to. It's like you got to play the game. So we're trying to go through it all here.
So the Panda, for those of you first-time listeners that they're talking about, the leader in the clubhouse is our boy down here, Love Panda 24x48, Matthew Tiberius Minnick.
Hold on. Stop. Is that really your middle name?
Yes, Tiberius.
Oh, man.
I lied. It's actually Ignacio, but he doesn't like to tell people.
Tiberius would be so tight of a middle name. That's all I had to throw out there.
What is life? Not that, like, there was a whole other part too just after that where Pat and Boston Connor both talk about my passion and how much they enjoyed my passion of everything that I did and how they really want somebody like that with them. So it's just like the fact that I was the first name that came out of their mouth and the last name that came out of their mouth when they were thinking about that today. And the fact that they talked about me during the show, of all fucking things, like during the show live on YouTube today and on Sirius XM, the people that were hearing Panda, that was me. What is life? That Pat McAfee knows me by fucking name right now. Well, nickname, but Jesus Christ.
Wild, dude.
So here's the hoping that I might end up moving to Indy here pretty soon. And also why I'm wearing my McAfee jersey tonight, because what is life?
Mark! Sorry.
You're the one that told me to put it on, dick.
So definitely keep up with all the social medias. I forgot to put the banner up because I got all excitable today. Definitely keep up. This is wild. All our social media is on our link tree on our Twitter and TikTok. So
yeah, dude. Anybody, I say anybody out there watching, dude, supporting the show, dude. Get on Twitter, dude. Get on. I don't care what he said, dude. Get on there, dude, and give Matt Minnick Panda a shout out
because Toad may hate it, but he's already got him blocked, so who cares?
I don't think he really does. I don't
think he does either. But we actually do have a purpose for this, and it's not just to suck Matt's dick. Tonight, it's a very special guest for me and for the show. Here to hype up the Rumble for Rowe this Sunday in Centerville, Tennessee. One of my best friends on the planet. I'm going to sit here and try to run a money fucking podcast, and I bet he spends more time ribbing. It's the main event monster, Mike Jablonski.
Damn.
What's going on, guys?
Hello, man.
When I tell you I thought of that line on the car ride home, and I'm like, it's going to pop one person. That's the only person that matters.
I can't help but notice, they had the many faces of Farley. I'm really happy that they got the many waistlines of Jablonski on that.
So big shout out to our boy TJ Vegas, Kilmurray 603 on all the socials for making that video. He messaged me as he's making the video though, and he's like, "Hey, did Mike have long hair at some point? Because I see this other guy named Mike Jablonski, and I don't think it's the same one." And I was like, "Nope, that's fucking him." But it's funny. Real quick before we actually start the interview, I was watching the video. I probably watched it 5 or 6 times now, and I feel like there's a clip missing from that video. I mean, we got you dancing, we got you hitting big splashes and throwing out your vision and the whole thing, but I just wonder why he didn't put this clip in the video.
Nick White is telling Jablonski that Awful's had enough, and we got an argument here. Nick White Lobos Jablonski.
I mean, sometimes you hit your best friend in the nuts. I'm sorry. These things happen.
See, that's not even the clip that I thought you were getting ready to run. I thought you had mysteriously had FTW footage where I stabbed you in the face with a fork.
No, that was for the Toby Farley episode that didn't happen. Sunday's going to be fun. Anyway, there's no heat. It's all love. I have shit talked him to 5 or 6 people now. I feel better. Anyway, so Mike, we start the podcast the same way every time before we actually get into the show, which obviously we're going to talk about you a little bit. What was the moment Mike Jablonski knew he wanted to be a pro wrestler?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. The moment for me, and this is one of the most corny things that anybody would probably say, but the first time that I saw wrestling, it was around the time frame that Hulk Hogan had been put out by Earthquake, and there was the video right before Hogan came back with the yellow and red T-shirt and the cross in the locker and the locker door slamming shut, like just that imagery, and then the pop. I mean, I wouldn't have known what a pop was at that time, but just the reaction of the people on that same episode of Superstars when he came back, like that's what I want to do. That's it. And at that point forward, I was hooked.
Yeah, but
So how did you go from being a wrestling fan to actually getting in the wrestling business? Did you go to a wrestling school? What were your beginnings?
I went to a couple of lesser known wrestling schools. Ironically enough, you're in high school and you're wanting to get into the wrestling business, and a friend of yours says, "Hey, my mom knows this guy that does professional wrestling, and he works over here at this flea market." And so we go over and we talk to this guy, and he just, "Oh yeah, I'll train you. We won't charge you anything to train. You just, you work for me for, as long as need be." And this piece of shit, he took us to the boxing gym in Madison, the old Excalibur building where they used to run shows. And first it started off as we'd pay the monthly dues to be able to go in there and train with the gym, not to him, but he was come to find out he was getting the kickback off all that. And then there was the big scuttlebutt where we need to take up this money so we can go get the fairgrounds from Burt Prentice. And then after he raised a whole bunch of money from a bunch of fucking marks that he was, this motherfucker had a script that he wrote down on a piece of paper. It was spots, and that's how he was fucking training. Like he had no fucking idea what he was doing, and didn't realize it at the time. And then they raised all this money because they were going to put a bid in on the fairgrounds. And then, dude, I know this is going to be hard to believe, ironically, skips fucking town, and we never see him want money again. But through that, I ended up making a couple different connections with Gypsy Joe. I ended up in Gallatin for Tim Scruggs at SWA, trained with them. I did some time under training with Hot Rod Biggs. I did time with training with Quentin Charisma. There's so many people that have helped me along the way to get my foot in the door in the business and really figure out what working was and what psychology was. I've been thoroughly blessed to be somebody that probably, for all intents and purposes, should never been here, but I am, and I've done this for 22 years now, and it's been a hell of a ride.
We go from a really deep question, and I'm going to end up turning this into a jackass question just because I want to bust some balls up here in the top left corner. Tell me an embarrassing story or something that me and Robbie Rain Man here might not know about old Nick White up here in the corner.
Well, he alluded. I don't know that it's an embarrassing story, but it's probably my absolute favorite memory of Nick. And he alluded to it earlier in the open, but I was working for Tony Falk at USWO at Stadium Inn, and I was feuding with Mark Anthony, and I had been injured, and talk about reactions going back to the Hogan scenario earlier. I'd been injured. I'd been out for a few months, or however long it was. My memory's not the best, but I'd been out for a little while, and I came back, and big pull apart in the middle of this rundown crack hotel, and Nick, as they're trying to do the pull apart, he says something just funny.
It was. I'll never forget it. It was, "God damn it, you're fucking strong. Stop trying to get past me."
Yeah, that's what it was. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. And he said this, and fucking everybody, in the pile, it's kind of customary. Fucking the boys start giggling and shit when somebody says something stupid in the middle of some shit like that. I said, fucking, I looked at him dead in his eyes, like, in the middle of a money fucking angle here, and you're over here trying to rib. And it's just, man, that's been our friendship the entire time that we've been running the Rows. Like we just fuck working for anybody else. Like we work to pop each other, and that's
for better or worse.
Yeah, that's pretty much the antithesis of our friendship.
What you have to realize about that night too is that me and Mike had been going to shows together, riding to shows together, and he didn't ride with I didn't ride with him that night. He normally drove. I didn't ride with him that night. I didn't even know he was fucking there until he came out for the pull apart. So I'm simultaneously freaking out because my best friend's here and I didn't even fucking know he was here. And then I'm like, well, I gotta be a fucking goof. What the fuck else am I gonna do? Y'all know me. If I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna make myself look dumb. So yeah, no one's surprised. I mean, dude, I gotta say, we do have some crazy fucking memories, man. This is the jerk ourselves off part of the podcast, by the way.
Here we go.
I mean, dude, it's been from going to the CSB and editing fucking videos.
Like it matters.
Like it matters. Sorry. We got that. We got the whole run in FTW from you saving my ass and nobody knowing who you were, but then becoming the main event monster. Literally had one of my favorite angles ever run was I bring in Mike to FTW, which was my home base at the time. We bring Mike in, and we had it in his contract that he was always the main event. So we would have a heavyweight title match that would go 30 fucking minutes, and they're bleeding and fucking going all over the building. And then Mike would come out and squash a jobber to end the show in 2 minutes. I'm talking kids under masks, kids barely out of training, and Mike goes out, beats the shit out of them, fucking stretches them 2 minutes, and we're out the fucking door, and the people got so mad.
Well, yeah, because FTW was a work rate company.
Dude, it was legitimately I hate to put it this way, but to put it in perspective, what Action Wrestling and Supgraps and all these companies that we play, we help in whatever little way we can now. FTW was doing that shit 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. All the high flying technical crazy matches in the South where it was all Memphis wrestling. There's this little show in McMinnville, Tennessee in a fucking garage that's putting on fucking crazy matches. And then, we had the you and Lord Frost match, which, I got to play the clip.
Big meaty man slapping meat.
Sorry. It's my favorite thing. I mean, there was just so much shit we did back then. And then I still think maybe my other favorite memory was the night when you finally won the FTW title. Here's Jeremy Travis, who I'd love to get on the show one day. I know he listens. Hook a brother up. Who's been this great technical wrestling champion, and then you're this monster. And that show had a lot of drama that night. But, I mean, the main event of the night, Fighting Spirit Tournament, biggest show of the year, you go out and win the title, and it felt like such a moment for us because we were the Nashville guys. And
yeah, we didn't fit in until that point. I agree with you 110%. We didn't fit in FTW until that point. You had been there, and you had a reputation. I didn't fit in until that point. Everybody this pussy, he doesn't know anything about strong style. And then, fucking Jeremy, to his credit, made me fucking earn it that night. It was fucking great memory.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to share all that. Robbie, you can ask the question now.
Well, let's go back, dude. We went over your training and stuff. Can you just walk us through your first matchup? What was going through your mind when you had your first wrestling match, before and during and after?
Okay, so it's kind of ironic the way life takes us different places, because my first wrestling match was probably about 10 miles down the road, just on the outskirts of Dixon, and that's 10 miles down the road from where I live currently. And it's a trucking fleet center, but it was like a rec, not a rec center, but it was like just some sort of public event space,
like a YMCA or something.
It wasn't necessarily the YMCA, but it had some sort of art exhibit at one time, and it's just a random building before they converted it into this truck depot. But anyway, this goes back to that piece of shit Mike Gowan. Like my first match, he was doing this fucking this gimmick. I don't really want to call it a gimmick because it was shit, is what it was. Where he wore a hood and he threw fireballs and did all this shit. He beat the teetotal French fried titty fuck out of me in the middle of fucking 25 people, and then threw me in the back of the fucking ring truck and left me for dead. It was fucking most retarded bullshit ever. It's like, hey, I'm a wrestler now, yay! But man, like it just, I can't stress enough. Like from the beginning to where I started to where I'm at now, I'm working with Pro Wrestling Mid-South out in Dyersburg. I got one of the best compliments by one of the guys back there. He's like, man, like you're one of the veterans, but like everybody else is like a veteran in the office, but like you're the veteran that's like one of the boys. Like you stand up for the boys and stuff, and like everybody respects you. You're like that locker room leader. I was like, how did I go from getting the shit kicked out of me and thrown into a fucking moving a ring truck to commanding attention and respect from my peers? Like it's an unreal feeling, an unreal experience.
So with something like that, what would you consider your best or most prideful moment so far in your career, and the one you felt like you could learn the most from looking back?
I'm gonna be honest. I did 2 days worth of shows on loop going to East Tennessee with Jerry Lynn. I hate to fucking name drop, but I name drop.
No. That's my whole gimmick.
Prerequisite. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all I do on this show.
Yeah,
have I told you about my friend JD Drake yet?
I don't think you have to tell anybody about your friend JD Drake anymore. He's kind of a big deal.
He is.
But like running that loop with Jerry, it was just 2 days, but just being in the car with Jerry and just asking him questions about, with him coming through Global and just fucking just picking his brain about shit and having conversations with him about when he worked with Van Dam. Like after he finished that series with Van Dam, he would get heat with some of the boys because he was so busy covering up because Van Dam was just beating the shit out of him for the whole series that they worked each other, and like just getting his insight on that. Like, man, that was a learning experience. I mean, I can't narrow it down to any one thing. Like I've had a lot of opportunities. Some of my first bookings were, under Chris Champion, God rest his soul, at Spring Hill UAW Hall, like just being able to pick his brain and learn from him, learning from Quentin Charisma, and just like, man, you can Tracy Smothers, like just I can't narrow it down. There's so many different experiences. Like I would be hard pressed to put it in one, but the one that stands out is that loop with Jerry, because he really broke things down to me in a way that hadn't really been explained up until that point.
So, two-part question. One, do you think Nigel Smith?
No, I don't think Nigel Smith.
I don't think Nigel Smith. And two, so somebody that's breaking in the business now, like, obviously it's a different business now than like when you came in, I came in, guys of like our generation. You are a lot older than me, but our basic generation. Mike is actually 45. People don't know that. Anyway,
still younger than me.
Barely, very close. What do you tell like the new guys that are breaking in? Like, what's your best piece of advice besides run?
Run first and foremost. Second piece of advice is have something to fall back on because you're going to get hurt. To borrow a line from Mike Promo, in this business, our throne is nothing more than a wheelchair. So have something to fall back on, but don't be so quick to base what your opinion of wrestling is subjective. Learn as many different styles as you can. Learn from it's great. First of all, go to a reputable school. Go to a school with somebody who has made a living in the professional wrestling industry and be trained by them, because at the end of the day, if this is a dream and something that you aspire to, you don't need to go to some jerk off at a fucking flea market to try to figure out how to make a living in the business. You need to go to somebody that's got a reputation, to the Chase Stevenses, the Chris Michaels, the guys that have made a living in this industry and paid their bills, not a few of their bills, but paid their bills off of the industry, and have something to fall back on, and learn as many different styles from as many different people as you can. Like, you can learn something, even if you're on a shit show, you can still learn what not to do. Like, eyes open, eyes and ears open, mouth shut, until you've established yourself. But there's so many different ways to do this art form that's called professional wrestling, and not any one style is the absolute way, because people like different things. But learn as many of those styles as you can by somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing.
I think it's kind of cool, dude. Like, a lot of the guys that we've interviewed on this show, they've said the same thing, that if you're going to go to a wrestling school, just don't go to a wrestling school because a guy says, I can teach you some moves. Take some lessons from a person who's actually, like you said, made it and become a star in the business. Because that's what young aspiring wrestlers want to be, is they want to be successful, not some guy who just had a match. But anyway. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask you about was fan interactions, dude. Fans are boisterous, they're opinionated, they sometimes cross the lines, man. Can you give us any fan interaction stories?
Just gonna sit back and let this happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so the most awkward I've ever been, and right hand to God, Quentin Charisma can vouch for this, because we were at the gym together when this happened. But like, I'm at the gym and I'm getting my pump, and Michael Jablonski to the front desk. It was some mark from the wrestling show in Nashville. They had figured out where I worked out, and like tracked me down. Like, that was kind of creepy. But like, dude, I try to be good. I try to be good to any fans that I have any kind of interaction with, but there's a certain line that you probably shouldn't cross, and that was creepy to say the least.
Yeah.
How do I follow that up? So, okay, looking back from where you are now to where you started, what would be the biggest piece of advice you wish you could have gave yourself then?
Listen to Mark Anthony. Like, there was a time we had a conversation. I'm probably gonna get heat with him, but fuck, I get heat with him for breathing most days, so fuck it, I'm used to it. But when we were doing that business in USWO, like, he had made a comment. He's like, "You gotta look. You could write your own ticket." Like, I wish I would have stuck to that. I wish that I would have taken my weight training and my diet a lot more seriously than what I ended up doing, and just really devoted everything, because wrestling is not something that you can do lukewarm. Like, you have to be all in, or you need to get the fuck out, honestly. And I wish I would have listened to Mark, but I was a young, stupid kid at that time, and I thought I knew everything. So, but yeah.
So this Sunday, Centerville, Tennessee, the Rumble for Rowe. Why don't you give us a little background on the show and what kind of brought it all on for you, and what all work you've put in, all the goddamn work you put in.
Yeah. First and foremost, I'm gonna say this: I'm not a wrestling promoter, and I had no intentions of being one. But I was going to work one morning. Actually, correction. I was going to the gym one morning, and as I pulled in the parking lot, I saw a notification from a real good friend of mine. His name's Jason Kraft, and he works for the Williamson County Sheriff's Department. And he was talking about this unsure feeling about what was going on the day that Mr. Chandler Rowe did get shot. And he just, it's that feeling. And just not knowing exactly where you're going, but just knowing that you're putting your uniform on and you're going somewhere. And, did a little bit more research. Mr. Rowe was trying to execute just a regular traffic stop out in Williamson County, and guy tweaker tweaked out and decided it would be a good idea to shoot him in the shoulder. Thankfully, Mr. Rowe, survived, and he didn't tear any ligaments or anything like that. He's just having to go through the physical therapy. And I thought to myself, I know working for different organizations, that's workman's comp. So if you go out on a workman's comp claim, you're only going to get paid about 60% of what you would normally make just because it's workman's comp. And I was like, man, I really feel like if you just took 40% of somebody's income away just in the blink of an eye like that, through no fault of your own, just for doing your job like that, that'd be enough to cripple a young family. And I thought, man, there's got to be something that can be done. And about the time that I got on the elliptical that morning to start my morning workout, like I typed out a message, hey, do I have any friends that would be interested in donating their time and coming down and helping out with a benefit for Mr. Rowe? And that was the beginning. And I had so many people reach out to me that hey, yeah, we'll donate our time. We want to be a part of this. And it was just unbelievable seeing, because a lot of people they want to sit back and they want to criticize the wrestling community, but the boys and the industry as a whole, usually when people are in need some help, they can sit back and they can laugh at us or whatever and poke fun, but we're usually the first ones that step up and try to help people in situations like that. And the outpouring of people wanting to be a part of it, I just honestly, this is not something that I can think about doing, or it would be nice to do. This is something that's got to happen. So by the end of the day, I had an entire card that just kind of fell into place. And another day or so passed, and the Miss Lisa Blystad, she had hit me up. She randomly messaged me. I didn't reach out to her. She reached out to me and said, hey, if you're doing it for this, and you're not making profit or anything, we'll donate the facility, the stables, event space for you to use. And at that point, like, well, let me find some sponsors, because I've got to figure out a card that not just people that are wanting to help Chandler out, but the wrestling community as a whole would want to come see. So I've got to give a huge thank you to a 5-Star Retreat out of Nunley, Tennessee. They were our main event sponsor, and they took care of being able to book Larry D versus Chase Stevens, and Your Money Matters Books and Taxes out of Bon Aqua and Franklin. They helped us out. Average Joe's Gym in Centerville, they're sponsoring our Battle Royal, the Average Joe's Battle Royal. Everything came together, and I got messages from Zane Stevens and Damian Wayne, and they were both at the time, they messaged me separately, but Damian and Zane, they were looking to be a part of it. And I was like, honestly, guys, I got everything booked up, and it's just all I've got is Battle Royal spots. And light bulb. Hey, wait a minute. No, I don't. That's an attraction. We need Zane Stevens versus Damian Wayne. I've had a lot of people have told me, Mike, you really seem like you're having a blast putting this together and booking this. And I'm just going to be completely honest. I haven't booked anything. All of this has been, it's just kind of fallen into place the way that it needed to. The pieces on the chessboard have kind of moved, and we've got an amazing event lined up for Sunday. Even if you're not there to support Chandler, that's enough of a reason. But even if you're not there to support Chandler, if you're a wrestling fan, I've not seen, and trust me, I've looked at a lot of cards. I've not seen a card this well put together. And I'm not just patting myself on the back, but this is one of the best cards that's been in this area probably within the last 15 to 20 years. And I say that fully knowing how self-centered or egotistical that might sound, but I 100% stand by it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about it. What match are you looking forward to the most?
To truth be told, I'm looking forward to Gregory Mcdaniel versus Toby Farley. And that's going to be a rematch from the Revive Pro version of Fighting Spirit a few months ago. The match that they had in Fighting Spirit was unbelievable, and I can say that with a clear conscience because I went on to face Toby in the finals of that same tournament, and Toby and Gregory had a match that left me scratching my head. It's like, man, that should have been the last match of the night. So if you like, I mean, you can't. Going back to the conversation that we were having earlier, you talk about the many different styles. You talk about somebody that can work as many different styles as there are to be worked, and probably some that haven't even been discovered yet. Toby Farley is the guy that can do that, and I'm really looking forward to that. I think that has every possibility of being able to steal the show, and that's not something that's going to be easy to do with the amount of talent that's on this roster.
So I'm going to ask the question. I'm about to put you on the spot because you know it's what I do. It's been asked to me by other people. Is this the show, or is this the first show in Centerville, Tennessee?
I'm going to be completely honest, and Nick, you've known me long enough to know that I'm not going to mince my words.
I know. That's why I asked it.
This event Sunday is specifically wholeheartedly about Chandler. So we're going to raise funds for Chandler Rowe. If the possibility of something else opened up, I'm not going to turn it down, but there's nothing that's ironclad enough that I would feel comfortable saying, oh yeah, we're going to run more shows, because that's not the case. Right now, we're in the now, and that's raising funds for Chandler Rowe. Anything after that will be a blessing.
That's my boy.
You're promoting? You're doing the booking and the promoting on this. Are you also going to be out in the ring too, doing in-ring action?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And see, that's another thing. Like, nobody, I didn't want to be that guy. I really didn't. Going back to Pro Wrestling Mid-South out in Dyersburg, I'm one half of the Mid-South Tag Team Champions with Coco and the Knockout Artist Coco Anderson. Together we're known as Bad Omen. And I kept getting messages when this whole process started. I kept getting messages. You got to have the Gotch brothers on. We really want to see the Gotch brothers in tag team action. And the one message that really got to me, they said, you know what? The Gotch brothers will beat anybody that you put in the ring with. And that just kind of like, I gotta know. Can the Gotch brothers really stand toe to toe with the Pro Wrestling Mid-South Tag Team Champions? I want to be the guy that books himself on his own show. I gotta know. And we're gonna find out come Sunday.
Yeah, I think that I'm sold.
Mike, man, I love you. I'm gonna let you take full screen. I'm gonna let you hype all your shit up. Say whatever you need to say, man. Hype your socials, hype the show. You know the drill. Go be a babyface. If you remember how.
It's been so long. Listen up. Yeah, you guys can catch me on Twitter at Jablonski Says. You can catch me on TikTok at Big Picture MJ. You can catch me on Instagram at Jablonski Pics. But most importantly, you can catch me this Sunday, March the 27th, at the Stables Event Space, Rumble for Rowe. We're going to raise funds for Williamson County Sheriff's Deputy Chandler Rowe, who was shot in the line of duty. Bell time is at 5 p.m. Doors open at 4. I advise you to get there when the doors open because we have very limited seating remaining. Tell a buddy and bring a friend and come out and help raise funds, but more importantly, come out and see a great wrestling event the way you remember it back in the day. Guys, thank you for having me on tonight. I really do appreciate it.
Dude,
You
man.
know, I love you, buddy. I will see
thank
you
you.
Sunday. Like I said, I'm there for whatever you need me for, buddy.
Yeah, man.
I'll bring
Thank you
fire
so
and blood.
much,
It'll be
dude.
great. Love you, man.
Love you.
There's the button. I couldn't find the button.
You
I
know,
love
but,
that guy.
right, the button's in the same spot every week, Nick.
Well, no, I'm on full screen, so it's in a different place now.
Okay, fair enough.
Dude, love that guy. It's always good to fucking talk to your buddy. I'm gonna talk to him so much on Sunday. He's gonna be sick of me. He's just gonna kick me out of the fucking building. He's like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to run a show."
Sound like a really nice dude to hang out
He's a
with.
good fellow. He's a good brother. He's a good brother. You gotta love him. He's a good fellow.
Good
I'll
fella.
hug him.
He's all right.
He's all right. I'll keep him.
Well, obviously, Panda got the call from Pat McAfee. Nowhere to be found.
Panda has some technical difficulties. That's why I kept checking my phone during the show because he was like, I keep glitching. So has some technical difficulties. He'll probably be back next week unless he's fucking moved to Indy to work for Pat. Next week's going to be a fucking fun show, though, man. Like, next week, we're going to start, it's a new thing. I've already got a couple other companies lined up for it. We're going to start something called Promotions You Need to Know. I mean, obviously, we've covered ICW No Holds Barred. We've covered GCW.
Yeah.
The big name indies. We're going to start focusing on some smaller indies. So I've got some representatives from some companies lined up just to come on here and talk about, some of the smaller indies that, are right there on the precipice of breaking out. So next week, representing Rugged Pro Wrestling out of Nebraska, we're going to have their ring announcer, an old friend of ours. He was actually on the old Uncut podcast, for anybody that remembers that one. Probably not a lot of people do. It's pretty forgettable. But Matt Patton's going to be our guest on the show next week. Good guy. It's going to be a fun conversation. We're going to learn a lot about Rugged Pro. It's a company that I'm not even super familiar with, but they've got a lot of stuff on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Definitely check them out.
Yeah.
Sure, he'll pitch that pretty hard next week.
Yeah, dude, I'm really excited, dude. We had a Righteous Jesse on before, dude, and Kerry Awful. We had some we had another ring announcer on too. Maybe they didn't show up.
Kerry Awful's not a ring announcer.
No,
we had him and Jay on, who's a ring announcer.
Oh, yeah. There you go. It was. I mean, we had two. Yeah, but they have such a different perspective, dude. That I really can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, dude, and especially Matt's new to the business too, so this is going to be kind of cool to We've had a bunch of veterans on. It's going to be cool to see what the new guys feeling. It's going to be kind of rad.
Yeah, cool. Really cool.
So, for Love Panda 24x48, he is super famous. You should definitely check him out on Twitter and TikTok. Mostly on TikTok, he's got like 5,000 followers. I actually have more followers than him on Twitter, which is not important. And for Roberto Cutthroto, check him out at RobUngle1974. Do not go to his TikTok. Don't do it.
I admit it. Don't do it.
Oh, wait, hold on. I haven't got my other favorite clip in.
What are you talking about?
There. See, I got them all.
Thanks, Nick.
For those guys, I am your boy at the Ace Nick White. Check me out on Twitter, on TikTok. Mostly on Twitter. I'm basically just on Twitter now. Just shilling. Just being a fucking shill. It's great. Robbie, my boy.
Yo.
How many clicks is it?
1 and 2.